Why, hello there. We're doing something a little different today, taking a short break from Shadows of Brimstone, and we're going to look at these very old board games that I used to play when I was a kid. The Sorcerer's Cave and the Mystic Wood, games created by Terence Donnelly. Sorcerer's Cave way back in 1978, Mystic Wood from 1980. Mystic Wood is the nicer of the two games. It has these beautifully drawn tiles that are assembled to create a mystic wood, and knights gallivant around performing quests. However, it's strictly multiplayer, 2 to 4 players, which is no good for solitaire play, is it? So let's move on to the Sorcerer's Cave, a game of exploration, magic and adventure, which does support solo play. Again, it uses tiles. And I'm wondering, this is the first board game dungeon delve. The idea is to assemble a team of adventurers who will adventure through this dungeon seeking treasure. And of course, in a multiplayer game, you can be working competitively to try and escape the dungeon with the most amount of treasure. But, of course, in a solitaire game, all you might want to do is escape with some treasure alive. And here, a couple of years ago, I played a few solitaire games, trying to beat a high score. Here I escaped with 115 points. That's my high score so far. Let's see if we can beat it today. Here's the rule book. It's pretty nice. Goes on for a few pages, but essentially the rules are pretty simple. It all uses just a single d6 for combat. There's a nice section at the back that actually encourages you to come up with new rules and new cards, and there's a couple of scenario ideas as well, which I might return to in the future. In the heart of a forest in a faraway land is the entrance to a vast underground labyrinth, the treasure house of an evil sorcerer. During his long lifetime of wicked deeds, the sorcerer has gathered immense wealth, heaps of silver and gold and glittering jewels, and artifacts of wondrous power. The fame of the sorcerer's treasure house has spread far and wide, and many a thief and adventurer longs to carry off a portion of the bounty. To protect his hoard, the sorcerer has made, by his magic arts, an ever-changing cave of many tunnels and chambers, and filled it with all manner of pitfalls and fearsome creatures to beset those who venture within. Yet many still come to the cave to match wits and strength with the sorcerer, and with the other bands of brigands found there. You can be one of these adventurers. You may enter the cave alone or with a few companions. Within its twisting passages and echoing caverns you may find friends and enemies too. You will encounter magic which may help or harm you. You will find treasure, and perhaps you will meet the sorcerer himself. May you have good luck. But heed this warning. Many do not return from the perils of the Sorcerer's Cave. So yes, I was channeling my best Treyguard from Nightmare there. First thing I'm going to do is create an adventuring party, and rather than picking which heroes we're going to bring, I'm going to roll at random. That's how I like to do it. So we get 6 points worth of characters. I'm going to roll a d8. For the first adventure, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a troll, so that takes up 4 of our points. There we go, and rather than using these pawns that came with the game, we're going to use D&D miniatures, so there is our troll. That leaves us with 2 points left, so we can either have a woman or 2 dwarves, so we'll make it 50-50. Let's have a woman. There we are. This is actually one of my favourite of the old D&D miniatures lines. This is a Delver Sergeant. I like the way she's pointing and holding a torch. We need some names. Can't just call her woman. Alright, I picked some names from fairy tales. So the female adventurer is Peronella and the troll is Hallmundr. Let's have a look at these cards. So yeah, characters don't have much in the way of stats in this game. We ignore this chart here. That's for when you encounter them as a stranger. That's their fighting strength in the top right. So a troll has a fighting strength of 4, and a woman has a fighting strength of 2, and then in the bottom left their points values for totting up points if they manage to escape the dungeon. And then finally, this figure here is their carrying capacity. So yes, trolls, pretty handy for carrying lots of heavy treasure. Right, let's proceed. The first thing we need to do is just pick a direction and go in it. So, from what I remember, this game does sprawl a little bit, so I don't know if the full dungeon is going to fit on this little table, but we'll see how we go. Let's go this way. There's a little up arrow on each card to tell us which way to orient it, and we just have a nice simple passageway. Right, next turn. I instinctively want to roll to hold back the darkness, but there's no time limit in this game. We do have some steps going down, but let's keep it on this level for now. I'm going to head north. We have our first chamber. We put one of these cards in here, put ourselves at the edge, and see what's here. Lotus dust. We found an artifact. It's unguarded as well. We can just take it. Right, so we'll give that to Peronella. When she wants to use it, it will put one creature to sleep for 2 turns. Works on the Medusa, but not on spectres, ghouls or zombies. Sleeping creatures are protected by a curse. Alright, we'll go west this time. It's a dead end for us, so we keep that card face down. Well, let's head on this way then. Okay, fair enough. Passageway bending to the north. And here... Right, we'll make that a dead end. We're not going into the forbidden radiator zone. So it looks like we're going this way. A cross passage. Alright, I've rearranged the dungeon. So this is in the corner of the table, which means we need to head south. And, oh dear, another dead end. So in a competitive game, this would have cost my party some time. But as we're playing solitaire, we can simply imagine them withdrawing all the way back to here. And we will head east. No look in this direction either. Very well, we'll return to these stairs and head downwards. Here we are, down to dungeon level 2. It just so happens there are stairs here, however it's another set of downward stairs, so they don't link up truly. But what we do is we place these tokens down to show that there's a secret passageway going from these stairs to this chamber. In a multiplayer game, only this party would know of that secret connection. Okay, eastward, I think. Another passageway. And east again. Crossroads, with a grand staircase heading both up and down. Southwards, another passageway. We need some chambers. Where are all the chambers? South again then, and it's a dead end. We'll head north of the crossroads. The Great Hall. Draw 2 extra small cards, so there's going to be 3 cards in here. Oh, a dragon. An earthquake, so we need to play that straight away, it's a hazard. And a Medusa. That sounds like a bad room to go in. So I would withdraw from a chamber that held both a dragon and a Medusa, but the earthquake means the last tile we were in collapses and becomes impassable. Next, we will deal with the Medusa, who I cannot fight. I can only try and avert my gaze. So, we'll try Peronella first. Okay, close your eyes. Don't roll a 1 or a 2. She's fine. And Hallmundr is also fine. Right, what shall we do with this dragon? So, there's 2 things we can do. There would be a third of withdraw, but we can't. We can either approach the dragon, in which case we roll on this reaction table, It will either be hostile or indifferent, or we could just straight up attack it. A dragon has a fighting strength of 6. With both Peronella and Hallmundr fighting, they would also have a fighting strength of 6, so it would be 50-50. One other special thing about the dragon is that if a single character, slays a dragon, they add 1 to their fighting strength. They become a dragon slayer. Sounds pretty risky to me. I am going to try approaching the dragon peacefully. So let's roll a d6. The dragon is indifferent. We managed to negotiate our way past, so we'll continue to the west. Right, a passageway bending to the north. And then a dead end. That means we're going to go back into the Dragon and Medusa room. Oh dear. Actually, there's some downward stairs here, isn't there? Let's go down those. Right, down, deeper and down to dungeon level 3. And as you can see, I'm beginning to run out of space already. But here we are. Let's head northwards. Which is a dead end. So, alright, fine, we'll head south. Aha, a chamber. Ooh, we found a strength potion. Adds 2 to the strength of a man, woman or hero for the duration of a fight. 1 draft only. Very nice. We'll give that to Peronella. We're going to head west. How are we doing? So far, we've got a score of 19, which is nowhere near the 118 I'm trying to beat. We haven't found any proper treasure yet, and we still need to find a way back up to the gateway, since our way is blocked. Another chamber. And here we find the Sorcerer. He's come out of his lair. Always hostile. His fighting strength is 4, magical power 9. What that essentially means is that his fighting strength on the front rank is 13, so we would have no hope of beating him at all. So we're going to withdraw. Run away! Run away! Alright, we have no choice but to progress to the east. A passageway. What do you think, north or south? South would take us into the abyss of the edge of the table, so we'll head north. A twisty maze of passages, all alike. Go north. It's the Tomb of Kings. Draw 1 extra small card. Yeah, I don't think these cards could do with some nice artwork on them, other than just the very basic colours and shapes we have. Alright, we have got a man who happens to be carrying some gold. Maybe we can convince him to join our party. There we are, one man. Peronella, do you want to try talking to him, see if we can get him to join the party? 3, that would be indifferent. So, we can hang around and try again. This would just happen immediately since there's no other parties wandering around. Or we could just leave him to it and carry on. I think we're going to try talking to him again. We want that gold. Still indifferent. He's driving a hard bargain. But again, there's nothing else going on, so let's just keep trying. 5. He's friendly. Come and join our party. So after a bit of a back and forth, he's going to join us. We need a name for him, and he can carry his gold. Alright, we will call man Hansel. So Hansel joins the party. We're going to head west. We know this is a long passage. Lead the way. And west again. And, oh, it's a dead end. Stairs, though. But they go down, not up. Okay, Peronella, you lead the way. You're the one with the torch and pointing the way. We'll go north. Right, some stairs up, please. What's this? The deep pool. Only giants may carry heavy treasure through this area. Now, what does it mean by heavy treasure? Yeah, so heavy treasure is any of these treasure cards that have a weight carried in sacks. So, if we want to go this way, we'll need to ditch the gold. Well, we don't want that. Let's head back. And I guess I'll have to go east. Well, we'll have to shuffle some cards along and rebuild the dungeon should we head back up to level 2. Alright, let's see what's here. T-junction and stairs heading up. Very good. I think we'll head up. Right, I'm going to tidy up the 3rd dungeon level, but let's commit it to film, just in case I need to come back down here. You know, maybe I want to come back and kill the Sorcerer, who knows. Now, the dungeon levels are perfectly stacked on top of each other, so coming up there is going to put us here on the 2nd dungeon level, and it just so happens this is a Viper Pit. Now, the Viper Pit is a pit with a narrow ledge around it, and as you pass through, you need to roll to see if you fall into the pit. Now, if you come up here from a staircase, or down through a staircase, you end up on this safe island in the middle. But the implication there is that you can't proceed anywhere from there. Right, I'm going to rule that we can try and make a heroic leap to the ledge. And I think we're going to want to come to the south ledge here. So we're going to roll for each of our heroes, and on a 1 or a 2, they fall into the pit and are bitten by vipers and perish. So let's start with our troll first. He falls in and is bitten and is killed. Okay, Peronella, you're next. Make that leap. A 1. Oh no, she also falls into the viper pit and is bitten and perishes. Well, that means we also lose the lotus dust and the strength potion. I suppose you could always adapt the rules a little bit. Say the lotus dust could work on the vipers and send them to sleep. Another time maybe. For now we'll just stick with the rules as written. Poor Peronella. Alright, Hansel, can you make the jump? Oh gosh. All 3 of them tumble into the viper pit and expire. What a tragic end to this adventuring party. So I score 0 points. Yeah, so there we go. I loved this game when I was a kid. It was my cousin who had it. I didn't have a copy of my own. But after visiting her house, and I got home, I of course wanted to make my own version, which sadly I don't have anymore. I cut out lots of bits of cardboard, made my own cards, pretty much recreated the whole thing from memory. It was great. Anyway, that's it for today. Might try this again at some point with one of the scenarios and maybe create a few new custom cards. Catch you next time. Bye bye.